Your projects always include the cream of the crop, the top performers in the business, the A-list, from all genres. How do you accomplish this?
I think having your credibility together is really good. You know, people can look at you and see that, oh, look at that man, he did this tune with Sting that won a Grammy, and then he's worked with Miles and this and that. You know, what's going on? You know, the first thing is to establish your legitimacy, you know, and I think that takes years and years and years. Unless you have a lot of money, or unless these days you're the flavor of the month, which it seems like that really matters. But so many artists don't want to go and make the jump into something serious, because I still think that many artists are under an illusion of a lot of things. You know, as we're talking about your site dealing with smooth jazz, you know, it's the illusion that the radio is going to help you. You know.
We have no illusion that radio is going to help us. We have no smooth jazz station here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Well, that is absolutely true, but for many years, it was an illusion that if you had a hit on the radio, that was good enough and that's all you need. So therefore, you can't even believe how many people would send me saxophone demos that sounded like Dave Koz, or sounded like, you know, Boney James, or somebody like that, because that's all they felt they needed to know to become a great artist and everything like that. And that's not what it is, you know. And so, you know, that was an illusion that was kind of spread that didn't help the music. It hurt the music in a lot of ways, because they just felt like, oh, well, all I need to do is play this and get on one of those cruises and I'm a star. And I'm telling you, I hear it all the time. If I would say it, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, if I didn't have emails and correspondence from people who just thought it was so easy, because the music at the radio level didn't challenge you. It wasn't supposed to, you know, at that level. Even though many of these people made albums that had very good tunes on it and everything like that, that wasn't what was paid attention to. And so therefore a whole thing was created around it. And that's something that, you know, that I'm not saying wasn't good at, didn't go down that direction. I just made music to make it so I knew people would like it, because I do something that I call creative commerciality. And you can be commercial, you have to be creative at the same time. You have to find that space in there. And if there was an easy way to do it, everybody would be doing it. But there isn't an easy way to do it. But people are looking for an easy way to do it. And that's been my struggles and everything, because I don't want to go, you know, even though we all need to make a living and need to get it out there, I just always feel like the music will find a way. Well, you are a visionary in the music industry. Where do you think it's heading?
Right now, I think it's in a very confusing place. I think that it's in a place where, like, you know, older people that are used to buying music aren't buying music for some reason, because they're not given their outlets. And, you know, I'm listening to like smooth jazz or something like that, and I'm saying, well, how did these people get to that place? Because these were the same people that were listening to, say, Pat Metheny and Weather Report back in the 70s. Now all of a sudden they've adjusted into this thing, which isn't the same. And I'm trying to figure out kind of like where to get the audience going and where to bring them back into buying music that they want to discover themselves. You can't go to a record store anymore, but yet we have the biggest record stores in the world online, like Amazon, where you can sit and listen to stuff and you can stream stuff, and the information and music is out there, you know, in jazz anyway, and in any kind of music. The whole thing is this: who's willing to make a commitment to go and to be a voice and to be an artist that's looking at it for the long term, and not American idolization of, you know, a quick hit and a short thing. If you want to be an artist for the long period, you have got to be prepared to suffer. You've got to be prepared to go and live for long periods of time without making money. And you've got to be prepared to make a real sacrifice to get your music out there. And these days, I hear from people that I consider mostly hobbyists, that think that they're ready to play this, and that oh, I'll quit my day job when I did. It's not what it's about. If you have that, and you have to do that to sustain, to make a living, I understand that. But many people now are like hobbyists, and amateurs have taken over, thinking that they can clutter the web with their music and everything, because their voice should be heard. And in smooth jazz, I have people that are like all the way down the line that'll send me stuff that think that they're on the same level as Dave Koz. You know, that they should have an equal footing with somebody like him, or they should have an equal footing with Najee, or they should have an equal footing with George Benson. You know what I mean? Because they're allowed to get their music out there. And I just don't believe that. I believe that it's still about great talent, and that there's that talent that's in there that deserves to be heard. It's harder to find these days because it's harder to find an individual voice. So so it's the people that have made the music and everything like that have made it honestly. It's all these other people that have come into it that are making it difficult for a lot of other people to go, that are great artists, that have maybe gone to Berkeley or gone to other places, to go out there and find the work and to express their voice out there. And it is getting harder. Where it's going to end up, I don't know, because years ago, if you had a record company like Columbia Records, okay, and they had a jazz department, and you had Michael Jackson selling 20 million albums, and people might go, oh, Michael Jackson, I don't know what, this record, that was a lousy album, and it sold 10 million albums. They don't realize that part of that 10 million albums went to fund the jazz department, that went to fund other departments. And the minute that started constricting, labels got rid of all their jazz programs, jazz department, more contemporary music, whether it was folk music or classical music, world music, all that ended. And now it's up to people to individually fund it. And that's what's been going on. So where is it going to go to? I don't know. I was talking to a musician who said, well, I make my albums now and I do everything. That's not me. I mean, everything as far as being all the instruments. That's not me. I want to interact with great artists and great people, because that's what makes the music that lasts lifetimes.
You are constantly growing and evolving. Where are you going next?
I'm going next to play at the San Jose Jazz Festival at 3 o'clock today. That's about the best answer I have.
And we will be there taking pictures.
Okay.
But do you have any plans?
Yeah. Well, I have plans on doing an next phase where we're taking a little break with our Global Noise project, and we're going to relaunch that because our singer's having a baby, and I have a whole new concept to move us forward that involves the planet and what we need here, and how to go and bring more people into being involved with music and spread a message more. I also hope to get another live Grover album out there. I have some music in the can for myself that I've saved over the last 10 years that I'm going to start releasing now, with all original stuff, that I have, the tracks that are ready, but I didn't feel that I wanted to put them out as an album because I did them at all different times, and now I feel like, what does it even make a difference? So I'm going to do that, and maybe one day, I'll work on a new solo record or something, and see. But I'm really concentrating on bringing this around the world, everything that I do. I want to play a lot of festivals with all the different projects that I have, from Miles to Miles to Brazilian to everything else. But he asked me this question, and I ended with somebody asked Joe Zawinul, where's the future of music? And he goes, the future of music will be in Detroit tomorrow when we play at the Detroit Jazz Festival. So I guess that's, the most you can say is that, nobody's promised tomorrow, and I'm here today.